Hey, what up, dog? Welcome back to Garo Attacks Quicker Heroes. Right, let's get right into it. Last time on here, I explained Maju, and I also had a very deep talk with y'all about the nature of morality and how it relates to race. If you want to watch that, because it's super awkward, you can go ahead and flip to the last episode. But right now we're gonna forget I ever said any of that shit that ever came out of my mouth because I'm stupid, and we're gonna go right up here with Amenhotep. Yes, Amenhotep. He is sort of like an Egyptian god of some sort. Quite possibly our first of its kind. Abaddon looks like he might, do the same job as Anubis, as I talked about before, but once again, it looks more like he could also be sort of Greek as well in nature, as like the Hades or whatnot. But also, it looks like he's just his own fucking thing right there, Abaddon. Maju is definitely an Eastern god, and Amenhotep, he's definitely like a Middle Eastern god. There you go. He might be one of the Eastern gods, but also, as you'll come to know, Amenhotep is here to uphold the balance that you just struck by giving Maju his ancient holy wrath technique, giving each person and stuff not only evilness in them but also holiness within them. So Amenhotep is just here to uphold that balance of light and dark, good and bad. So yeah, let's just read about him then, why don't we? He stares at you with a smug, knowing look. Perhaps you don't know why you're here, or what you're really doing. But the gods have taken a definite interest. Why they demand so much money, though, is astounding. True dat, brother. So let's go ahead and see if we can get his first upgrade. See what this is all about right here. Okay, Amenhotep. First upgrade is Smite. Yes, Smite. Once again, a balanced sort of moral sort of technique. On one end, you're crushing people's skulls with your sword. On the other end, the act of smiting is sort of like a holy thing. You're striking people to smite, I believe, is to strike someone down for doing something immoral. So it's sort of, you're doing something immoral, but it's to cancel out someone else's immorality. It's a difficult slippery slope, but gods tread that slippery slope quite exquisitely. So let's buy this for him. Oh, but first, you have to hear what he says about it. I am here to help you, mortal. Grant me this power, and you will be rewarded with the loot of many corpses. Oh, Amenhotep, he shouldn't have. Oh, man. So Amenhotep, a little bit less holy than I thought before, but let's see if he redeems himself over here. Let's get his next upgrade ready to go. Boom. I don't know what that is. It looks like it's a sperm going into an egg. In fact, that might exactly be what that is. It says Genesis Research. Increases DPS of all heroes by 20%, which is awesome. It says, foolish mortals! You have let Abaddon grow too powerful, he scolds you. You must undo what he has done. It will take time. Do not let Abaddon know. There you go. So although Amenhotep sort of seemed like he was being a little bit of a Cruella when he was talking about giving us the loot of many corpses back here, whereas Maju's trying to, be super holy over here. He also understands that Abaddon has grown too powerful as well. He might have grown so powerful that it's even affected Amenhotep with his smiting. When he smotes an enemy, I believe that's how it's said, smote. When he smoted an enemy, he realized, oh shit, I could have done that less evilly. So now he's conducting Genesis Research. I don't know what that means, but it might just mean that, maybe that's not a sperm, maybe that's not an egg. Maybe that is like a universe, and maybe that is an idea entering that universe. He must find the right combination before he's like, you know what, this is a good universe to go into. Let's restart and go right into there. Restart, you say? What? Why restart? You know, we're not doing too good here. Well, you'll see soon enough. Ho-ho! He's going to do the research first, and then we're going to go ahead and boom! Prepare the re-beginning. Or the re-beginning. Once again, increase DPS of all heroes by 20%. Just from him being around, everyone is just getting super, super hyped, apparently. But, what it says about this, it says, with a terrifying rumble, the ground and the skies ripple. Amenhotep glows brilliantly with power as he prepares the final act. Boom! And we're gonna buy that from him. And what is that final act, you may ask? Well, let's see. This required what? Level 50 Amenhotep? That's right. And this one requires level 150 Amenhotep. What? Why is that? Well, let's upgrade them all the way up and see why. Oh, whoops. Yeah, there it is. Because this is Ascension. This one's in all caps because you have to understand that once you hit it, you can't quit. What it does is Amenhotep creates a new universe, much like the current one. This will restart the game and you will receive 44 hero souls. Right up here. And it says, glowing bright magma chasms open up in the distance as Amenhotep prepares the incantation that will destroy this universe. Whenever you're ready, he says, with arms crossed, tapping his foot. Amenhotep. Kind of got an attitude on him. But also, pretty cool guy. Because he understands that if we ever get too evil in this world, he's going to be like, well, he's got to restart the world until we're not evil anymore. Well, that's another interesting lore point that I'd like to bring up. This is why Amenhotep always has the Ascension ability, because we are never not eviler than we are good, if that makes sense. We're always imbalanced on the evil side, or maybe even on the good side. Who knows? It sounds like Amenhotep is like super concerned about Abaddon mostly, especially with the Genesis research, but you know, it could go either way, honestly. So we're never in perfect balance here in the right direction. And you know what? I think it is in the evil direction because, one, he says Abaddon, because two, once again, we're killing enemies who are not doing any damage to us. Sure, like these bosses every 5 floors are like, oh, you only get like 30 seconds to kill us. And if you don't, then we heal up to full, and we continue just standing right where we are, not doing anything. Basically. And we're just like, oh, you evil bastard. But really, we're the dudes trying to kill him for doing nothing but standing there and being a monster, basically. So we're pretty evil. And because Amenhotep always has this ability, every single ascension that we are able to ascend, he's always feeling like, well, Abaddon's too powerful right now. And there's a reason why. Because we're doing all the evil things right now. We're still very super evil. And hold on, yeah, it does turn into a cat. That's so crazy. Huh. But yeah, that's Amenhotep for you. It was a pretty short episode. Lore-wise, I would like to stretch it on a little bit longer, but I don't know if I could have. He's basically Amenhotep, like one of the Indian gods. He's a god of reincarnation and rebalancing. So every time we die and come back, which is interesting. And it's another interesting lore point that I just realized. But every time we die and come back, they either give us rewards for it, or we just get stronger for it. If we had ascended and not become stronger, which is impossible because the first ascension gives us more click damage, so we're at least a little bit stronger after the first ascension. But if that wasn't the case, let's say when we ascend, we realized, oh, we need to be good guys now. So we stopped killing monsters for no reason. We stopped going on adventures for no reason. Then Amenhotep basically doesn't have to come in and, you know, fix everything. You know, he's not like, oh, well, you guys are getting too powerful and too evil, so I gotta, you know, I'm gonna need you to send anytime you're ready, you know. And I'm like, well, maybe I'm not ready right now. Well, I'll be here for a while. You know, I am a god, so there you go. So yeah, Amenhotep, Maju, and Abaddon being, you know, gods, they're pretty much eternal. They come back, and looks like Amenhotep is also just his presence and his smite ability is helping kill these monsters and whatnot. In the meantime, grabbing more money, but I think it's a means to an end for Amenhotep himself. He doesn't believe that these monsters are evil per se. He might believe that us defeating them so many times is evil, you know. And because of that, he's helping us. He says, you'll be rewarded with the loot of many corpses. He's just trying to speed up the process so that we'll have enough money to ascend. Because this one costs quite a bit more than the last one, right? See, 2,400, whereas this is 19,200. Yeah, so he's trying to, what I think he might be doing, he might be trying to speed up the process of, you know, well, if you really want money from these monsters, I guess I'll help you out there, you know. But it's only because, you know, it's to pay him for making us ascend. You know, it's a means to an end for Amenhotep. He's really sacrificing a lot of himself to see this through. Another tiny little lore point. This is not really lore, just something to note. I haven't gilded an Amenhotep yet, so this is straight up how he looks. Basically just like an Egyptian sort of pharaoh, except he's a god. But then again, back in the day, people thought the pharaohs were gods, you know. So, and he's got an interesting weapon here. It looks like a runic half-blade that's been mounted on a stick to be turned into some sort of axe or halberd or something. Interesting. I'm pretty sure they had nothing like this type of weapon in the like Middle East back when they had like pharaohs and stuff. But it's cool to just it's a cool looking weapon. I'll give him that. But it also points to the fact that Amenhotep, even though is like a quote-unquote Egyptian god from the Middle East, obviously he's like eternal as well, or he might have influence all over the world, as you can see from all of his, you know, his garb. His hat is definitely like Egyptian, right? Who knows? That like a little strap across him, that might be from like Australia. That halberd right there, that might be from like the Middle Ages. Those shoes right there, that's probably from like, he probably stole those from Aladdin. But that cape right there, that's definitely straight up from like fantasy, like medieval fantasy novel of some sort, a la Song of Ice and Fire, or Lord of the Rings or something. So he's sort of like a mix and match of different time periods, as Amenhotep has lived through all those times and recreated all those times, to be sure. He's and he's eternal, as you can see, because every time he creates a new universe, that universe has to like start from scratch again, like from the primordial ooze into like the first humans evolving from. If you don't believe in evolution, then I guess don't believe me on this one. But from the first humans evolving from like the fishes in the primordial ooze into like crawling out onto the into the land and blah blah blah, monkeys, blah 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 blah. Then years and years and years, many millions of years later, we're born again, because that's how the universe is recreated. And we find Sid, and then Tree Beast, and then Ivan, and Brittany, and Wandering Fisherman, who doesn't have a name, and then Betty, and Mass Samurai, who doesn't have a name, Leon, the Great Forestier, Alexa, Natalia, Mercedes, Bob, Royal, George, King Midas, Mr. Midas right here, Rafari, and all up until, like, we, once again, hire Abaddon and Maju, and then Amenhotep comes in and is like, whoa, 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 dog. you got this shit all wrong. We're gonna have to redo it again. So there you go. That's sort of like the lore behind those scenarios. Hope you enjoyed it. You know, like, subscribe, comment if you have, and if you haven't, then maybe stop watching the videos. Then, if you haven't, you might have some sort of problem where you're watching things that you don't enjoy. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Like, subscribe, comment if you're enjoying this series. I know I am, and I'll catch you guys next time when we talk about a Beast Lord. Hurrah! I'll catch you guys then. Peace out.